Hi, I'm about to demonstrate how to use or some inactivity at least, or some ideas you can practice and utilize with your prisms. These go a long way, the prisms will. They can extend into your astronomy unit again, but very useful for light and waves. I'm also going to demonstrate the behavior of light, the water bead activity that we're including as well. So with your prisms, you already know the prism is used to scatter light. So it is a simple and effective way for students to see that visible light is white to our eyes, but that it also separates again into its component parts, the Roy G. Biv. So the prism allows them to be able to see how it is split, and that this is real, that's really what white light is made of. So what I do, it's really quite simple, but it's most effective when you take the prism outside and let the sun shine into it onto the ground, the concrete, or if you have tables outside, however your school is set up. They bring white paper, and they also bring, I have them also do it in their science notebooks. They also bring colored pencils or crayons, whatever you prefer to use. And I have my students shine the prism onto their notebooks, usually with their electromagnetic or their light wave notes, and they will trace it onto their paper. They can trace exactly what they're seeing. So it's just a way to have evidence and proof that light is really red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. This is a really fun one. Second thing I do with my students, this is kind of a newer thing I've practiced, and you should be getting these water beads or floral beads, whatever you want to call them. I don't tell my students that we're using them. I don't tell them there is anything in the beaker of water that is in front of them at their science tables or their desks. So that would be the first thing that's really important. When your students come in, hopefully they know that when you have a lab set up that they aren't to touch anything until you give them further instruction. So I have the water beads in a beaker of water or a glass, and it is sitting on their workstation. It will appear to them as just a clear water of a clear glass of water. So what you do is begin with discussion. What happens when light travels through different mediums? The students will give their feedback. You'll have discussion about it. Hopefully you will cover that when the medium changes, the speed of light changes and it causes it to bend or diffract. That's hopefully what you will conclude as a class. So then you're having them look through their clear glass of water, and they are able to observe that on their table. Then you have them take a clear spoon or a spoon, whatever. It could be one from the cafeteria as long as it's clean. I want you to have them gently dip their spoon in the water, and then all of a sudden they'll see there's actually something in the water. They will pull out the little clear water beads out of the water. Usually this creates an extreme amount of excitement. So what I want you to do then is have them set the glass, or keep the glass back on the table, step back, and I want you to have them discuss and write down, record, why is it that you could not see the water beads in the water? And the discussion should generate, hopefully this one is a little more difficult for some kids, but you can explain to them that these beads are saturated with water. And maybe you can start with that as well. And they will conclude that it's not bending because the medium is the same in the beads as it is in the water. So light isn't being bent visibly. Now you can have them kind of play with it with their hands. As soon as the oils and the dirt and the grease and come off of their hands and get in the water, they'll be able to see light refract, and then you can have that discussion. Why is it refracting now? Because there are other mediums that have been introduced to the water and to the beads. Now, this is a fun one because I can take it a step further. They can take a couple beads out And I want you can have them tell you what kind of lens that represents, and does it make an image larger, does it make it smaller. They can put them over your handout, even the handout that you've given them, and they can tell you whether it enlarged an image or made it smaller. It's really effective, and it's also fun. Bring some Ziplocs, because my students usually want to take some home in their Ziploc bags as well. Thank you.